Disclaimer. At Two Addicts and a Moron, we discuss personal stories of addiction with the intention of being educational, relatable, and inspirational. The views and experiences shared are those of individuals involved, are not meant to glorify or condone any illegal or harmful behavior. This content is for educational purposes only and is not intended as professional advice. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, we strongly encourage you seek help from a qualified professional or support service. Yeah. And we are back to episode 60 of Two Addicts and a Moron.
We're almost to 69. And they have a special guest for that one. Super special.
Who are you thinking?
I don't know. Maybe two twins.
I just went to a stripper thing
And I'm
for my
so
little
jealous
brother.
about
So
it.
it was fire, bro.
I bet it was.
I'm so jealous. When you told me, I put the phone on mute and I said, Josh just went to see strippers.
I mean, where else do you take a group of sober guys? Like, I didn't want to take them to the real strip club. I was like, we could get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and
they weren't technically strippers. Like, they had pasties and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was fun. It was fire.
Dude, Destiny was like, we would have went.
Yeah.
What was cute is he sent me a picture and they're all holding them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll show you. It's fire.
It's like you got two, one in each arm. It was awesome,
dude. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is incredible.
It was a good time. Yeah. She's like, "You're getting married?"
He sent me, bro. I was so salty when I got off the phone with him. I was like, I can't believe he didn't let us know,
Dude, I would have pretended like I was a giant the entire night.
You would have felt like a giant.
Yeah, I know, but I would have like been in character.
Yeah.
Like, I am a giant. Look at me. I would have had small carrots and little baby potatoes and shit. It'd be
My
like, look at
cheeks
this
hurt the
regular
next day
potato
from, like,
that I have
laughing
in
so
my
hard.
hands.
Yeah, it was fire.
we went to wrestling a few years ago before I got sober. And that was probably one of the coolest things I've ever went to.
Yeah, I went recently.
Like, instead of hitting each other with chairs, they used cookie sheets, aluminum.
Oh yeah.
And the
Dong.
and the when I went, it was the slippery when wet yellow signs. Like whacking each other on the
caution
fucking face with that. The caution, dude, it was great.
Oh man, yeah, we need to check that out. When did they come again?
It's my buddy's birthday when they come back in March next year, I think.
Oh, it's every year. It's terrible.
Yeah. And when we pulled up, like, I was like, dude, I think the Bandito's on this bar.
Yeah,
Because, like, they're, like, all out there in their cuts and shit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, they definitely own this bar.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's a brilliant thing to own.
Yeah.
That's fucking great,
Yeah.
dude.
But, you know, they partied hard after we left, I'm sure.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
It was a good time, man.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Josh is in the building.
What's up?
What up, dude?
It's been a little long time coming.
This is a long time coming, brother.
For sure.
Yeah, we threw out a little carrot to Tamara when she came on to have you come on.
I relapsed since then.
I know, brother.
Yeah.
I know, but I think it's an important story to tell. And that never deterred us from having you on. By the way, it was always just like, hey, he still needs to come on. We still need to talk about this shit in a real way, right? Because that's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real life thing.
Well, we've never really had. We've had people come on that are 6 months, a year, 2 years,
Yeah.
10 years, 20 years.
5 years and shit.
But we've never had someone come on
59
that is
days today.
still going through the struggle.
Yeah.
Right. Like relapse 60 days, relapse 90 days. So that's something when I talked to you recently and you were like, man, I just now back into it. I said, I know that's one of the reasons we really want you to come on so you can talk about that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that watch us are really not 20 years sober. They're still fighting and wondering, fuck, can I do it?
Yeah. No, I get that for sure. I went out to Nova the other day with my sponsor and did my first H&I, which was kind of cool because that was like the first treatment center I went to.
What's H&I for people that don't know?
Hospitals and institutions. You know, you just go out there and like, sometimes you tell your story, sometimes you give solution. He kind of put me on the spot and was just like, you know, what's different for you this time, you know? And I was just like, And I told him that I went to the Arbor, and I was fucking miserable. You know, I just hated it.
Yeah.
Jacob D, you know, was my sponsor at the time, and he got me in there, him and Robin, and this last relapse, like it kind of freaked me out, you know. I was shooting dope, and I thought it was 2017, and like I finally came up for air, you know, and I called Jake, and I was like, hey man, I need somewhere to go, dog, like. And he's like, call Robin. So I called Robin, and, you know, they waived a bunch of fees, and they got me in there.
Yeah.
And I even drove myself to detox, mostly because I wanted to do one last shot before I went in there. But, you know, nonetheless, like, I went, you know.
I still
and
drove myself.
I still went. And I almost made it 30 days. I think it was like 26 days I was there.
Yeah.
But I was fucking miserable, bro. Like, I just was like not trying to hear it. I tried to leave like at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
I did leave one day on Tamara's birthday. No, it wasn't her birthday. It was our 5-year anniversary. And but I knew, you know, I've been to so many rehabs at this point. I know the ones that like take insurance, you can leave for 24 hours. And as long as you come back and you're clean, everybody gets a mulligan. You know what I mean? So like. I knew I was going to come back, and I Ubered from the Arbor to Rise where my truck was, and I put my stuff in the back of my truck. Could have sworn I closed the fucking tailgate. And I get to HEB, and I'm like, I see my tailgate open, and I look, and all my fucking luggage is gone. I'm like, fuck me, dude. Okay, God, check good. Like, I'm going back. Like, just let me chill for a little bit, and then I wound up having to go back that night, and but I was still miserable. You know what I mean? Like, and the one thing that people have been telling me since like Nova, like, you need to hit your knees, dude. Like, humble yourself. And I was like, yeah, I never would do it. Like, I don't want nobody to see me on my knees. Like, I'm not like some bitch, you know. That was my mindset, you know. Like,
I ain't sucking no dick.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people's mindset, I would think.
That's my mindset for a long time.
For sure.
That's
and
your
like,
ego, and that's your I always say that's the devil telling me that.
Yeah, man. But one night I did it, you know, and I hit my knees and I said a prayer, and it was probably the worst prayer of prayers ever prayed. You know what I'm saying? A fucking selfish ass prayer, like, oh fuck, like, and but nonetheless, it was a prayer, you know, and I did it the next morning too, and something clicked, like, and ever since then I've done it every day since, and never have I ever, even when I've had like, you know, 4 or 5 months sober, have I ever been this just comfortable. I think I told Tamara the other day, I was like, I don't think there's anything that could happen right now that would make me want to get high.
Yeah.
Someone hit my fucking truck 2 weeks ago, dude. It was the best fucking day I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like, I still haven't even filed the claim, and I don't even know if I will.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't skip a beat.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe for a split second, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Not that big of a deal.
not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? And so I told those guys at Nova, I was like, you know, I hit my knees, and like the only thing that I can explain is that like I finally surrendered, you know? And you hear that word a lot in treatment, like, you need to surrender. And I struggled with that at Arbor. I was like, what do y'all want me to surrender to? My fucking insurance?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but now I get it. Like, it's like the humbling experience, walking through the humility of having to get on my knees and like ask something greater than me to like help me out here, man. Like, I'm fucking struggling.
That was a big word that Jay Klein used to use, was surrender.
Yeah.
He said when he finally surrendered, that's when everything changed for him.
Yeah. And like, I can't explain it. You know what I mean? I really can't. And I'm cool with that. Like,
The cool thing is you don't have to explain it.
yeah. And I don't even know what my God is really. You know what I mean? Like, my family was Christian, partly Catholic. You know, my girl's Buddhist. Like, it's I don't know what it is. And Jacob D used to always say, like, I don't know what my higher power is, and I'm okay with that. Like, and if I knew what it was, I think it would take the magic away from it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of fucking with that, and I kind of lean towards like like Great Spirit, the Native American thing, like. But whatever it is, it's working and it's helping me, man. And I dig it, bro. Like, I really do. I'm happy. I got peace. The kids still stress me out, but
Yeah, well, yeah, they always will, brother. That
I'm a
doesn't
work
go
in
away.
progress. You know what I'm saying? It's nice having the sober living to go back to, my little safe spot. I got my first overnight tonight. I'm gonna get to kick it with baby. We're gonna go to the prom after this.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
life is getting better, and my sponsor is really helping me go through this work in a different way than I've ever seen or done. I've never even made an amends. I think I made one to Tamara one time, but I was so high on heroin, like I was like fucking.
That's so sorry.
You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it's I got a long way to go, man. But like this time, like something's different.
Yeah. That's one thing I'll tell you is you have a really good girl.
Oh, she's the best, man.
You have someone that will deal with your bullshit and put up with your bullshit, and I don't mean that in a I'm not trying to talk down to you.
Yeah, for sure.
You have someone that will take the responsibility of taking care of the girls while you go and get better. That's something that's so important to have that not a lot of people have.
I'm definitely blessed.
Yeah, so blessed.
Like, and that's like an understatement.
Yeah.
Because
she gets it too, right?
Yeah. She was a one and done. Like, she went to Fullbrook and she just got it, bro.
Always do.
And it's crazy, like she's really been a fucking rock for me and the kids, and it's been quite the journey watching her grow in her sobriety. I don't know how she stayed, because, like, man,
well, especially like I say that I have a lot of respect for her, because I have a lot of respect for Destiny too.
Yeah.
Because Destiny, my daughter's not Destiny's.
Yeah.
And your oldest daughter is not Tamara's, right? But she's still, you wouldn't know that. Like, I wouldn't have never known that until y'all told me. Right?
Yeah.
Because whenever she's been out to places when you wasn't there, you would never know that.
Oh, they're tied. They're all thick as thieves, those three.
Yeah,
I'm outnumbered 4-1 at the house by women. My son moved back to Port A, and it's like, it's just me.
Yeah.
Even our dog's a girl. It's like, I'm a girl dad to the fullest, you know what I mean? I got henna tattooed up today. And
my toenails are still painted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a vibe at the house for sure, but yeah, she's great, man.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't ask for a better partner,
That's good.
So, what was the longest stretch that you were sober?
I think, like, I said 6 months, but I think I was already getting high behind everybody's back one time. I think it was like 5 months, maybe.
Okay. And I know you're saying this time is different, but
even then, like, I wanted to get high all the time. It was like, it was always on my mind, and like, I don't even think about it now. Like, we went out for the bachelor party, and there was a couple guys in the group that did drink that weren't one of us, and I was like, man, I'll drive, you know what I'm saying? And on the way home, I paused. I was like, who would have thought that I'd be the fucking DD tonight? Like, I'm usually the one that gets us kicked out of the fucking bar,
Yeah, right.
So, but I don't think about it, man. Like, I'm comfortable, drugs were never my problem. They were my solution to, like, push all that shit that I didn't want to have to deal with, and like, I look forward to, like, dealing with that stuff. Like, I'm ready to move. I'm on my big boy shit now.
Yeah, those are good goals to set for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, because things are going to pop up.
For sure.
And there's going to be some bad days.
Always.
There's going to be some days that are like, fuck. Like, to where you can't use, but when you get past them, you can look back at them and say, well, I didn't use on that day. I remember when Johnny was my sponsor. You know Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny was my sponsor.
He was mine too.
Bro, he's too smart for me. I couldn't use him he made me feel like fucking yay small.
Yeah.
But something he used to always say is, what would make you relapse? And I used to always say, if something happened to my daughter. And he would say, cool, so you're setting yourself up for a relapse already. That's not good. And I never understood that really, because I'm like, bro, if something happens to my daughter, like, that's the reason I got sober. And Destiny asked me not long ago, she said, what would make you use again? And I told her nothing.
Yeah.
And she said, even if something happened to your daughter? And I said, no, because I still have to be her superhero, whether she's here or not. And I made a promise to her that I'll never use meth again.
Amen, man.
And that was like the first time in my sobriety that I was able to say, holy shit, like, I really wouldn't use if something happened to her. You know, now, I'm not in that situation. I really don't know. But in my mindset, when I said it, I didn't even think twice.
Yeah.
And that was a phenomenal feeling to think, shit, I don't have to use if something happens, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a good friend's funeral tomorrow, and I haven't been to a funeral in a long time. Yeah. And I know there are so many funerals before in my past that I was getting high at their funeral. Yeah. And I know for a fact that won't happen tomorrow. So those are good milestones to put forward for yourself.
Good feeling too, you know what I mean?
And those are
like,
great feelings.
Yeah.
Well, keep the goal short, brother. Like,
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
like
Baby steps.
Keep them small. You know, like, and I think that's just good advice for anyone, even somebody like myself, right? Like,
sure.
if you've got goals, like, you know, if you're trying to go to the major leagues and you're in high school, there's college in between that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Shit, there's minor leagues.
yeah, there's all kinds of steps that have to be gone through to do that. So I've always heard, this is the first time I've met you, but I've always heard that you had a real good head on your shoulders. And
when I'm thinking right.
Well, look, man, we all slip up.
Yeah,
and we all
for
do.
sure.
We all do our things. But that's why I think it's important that you're on here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really do. I thought it was important way back on episode 30 when Tamara was on here.
It was that long ago, huh?
Yeah, dude, it was a long time ago. And I would bring you up often to them. I'd be like, hey, like we have. I fucking looked at a camera and said that, like, so I have to fucking make sure that this dude gets on.
Sure.
And told me about your slip ups and that you weren't quite comfortable a couple of times with coming on. And
yeah, you know, it's not nearly as bad. I was nervous on the way here too, because like public speaking is like, you know, I struggled with that at meetings for a long time, but now it's like, who better to talk in front of than a bunch of fucking junkies and alcoholics? You know, like these motherfuckers ain't judging me.
yeah,
Plus, you know, it's just us in here.
yeah,
so,
dude.
We'll see.
So how did rewinding the clock, man? Like, so heroin was?
No, I mean that wasn't always my thing.
Okay.
You know, I guess it all started with alcohol for me.
Okay. Like whenabouts?
You know, both of my parents were drinkers, alcoholics. My mom's a recovering heroin addict. She's sober now. And my dad, he passed away in 2015 or 2016. I'm not one of those. And he died of alcoholism and a broken heart, you know. But I remember, you know, dropping out of high school, and my dad told me either, you know, you move out or you get a job. So I went to work with him, and but I even remember before that on the weekends, you know, we're talking like in the late 90s. I mean, I grew up out in Cedar Park when I was with my dad, and we used to go party in Jonestown every weekend. You know, for $10, you could get a case of Milwaukee Best back then, you know, and then the other $10, you get you a bag of reefer, you know.
Yeah.
And we'd fucking watch wrestling all weekend and get fucking shit faced at my buddy's house.
Yeah.
And then we do school all next week. And that was like a normal thing. And then after I dropped out, I started pouring concrete with my dad. And, you know, you work all day in the heat, you get a couple quarts on the way home, and then I'd buy me a case of beer, and that turned into an everyday thing. And then I went to prison for a long time. And then I came home and I got back with my ex, who's my ex-wife now, but she was the girl I was with before I went to prison. And I moved to Port A. And we had a restaurant down there. And, you know, you work in the food industry, you're drinking, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like drugs really got introduced to me. I took my first hit of crack when I was 14.
Damn.
Yeah. And that was crazy.
Was that like at a friend's house or?
My mom gave it to me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, you know, she gave me a shotgun. You know, she's like, I didn't think he'd like it. What's fucking crack? Who don't like crack? You know what I mean? Backfired on you, you know, joke's on you. And I've had a lot of resentment towards my mom over the years, to the point to where Sunday I'm supposed to go hang out with her, you know, and that's like my sponsor's like, you need to, you know, you only got one mom, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And now I can look back, like, she was just sick, you know, trying to figure out a way to deal with me, because my dad had kicked me out. I stole my stepmom's car and flipped it. And so they kicked me out, and I moved back to Austin. And then that's kind of when the drugs started happening, like, you know, ecstasy. And I love psychedelics. I used to eat acid like fucking Skittles. And
How old are you?
I'm 41.
Oh, so you was around ecstasy when it was really
Yeah, them blue dolphins and
Yeah.
shit.
good
You know,
ecstasy.
them,
Yeah.
White
ladies.
Yeah, you know
yellow
what I mean? Like,
Pac-Mans, the green airplanes.
for sure.
Yeah.
And mushrooms, I always liked that. And I've always been a pothead. I don't like Coke.
I don't know.
I don't like the come down on it. And
I've heard that.
It puts me in a
Anytime.
terrible mood where I want to fight people.
yeah,
I'm like real agitated, irritable, and discontent.
for sure. But then in Port A, my ex and me were already like, shit was going south between us. You know, we were together for a real long time. And her cousin moved to town, and he went through a divorce. She moved back from Miami, and he did meth.
Mm-hmm.
And I had done meth a few times when I was younger, but like it burned my fucking nose and shit, and it made my fucking eyes water. I was like, fuck that, you know? But then I smoked it, and I was like, okay, I fuck with this, you know? Like, because I got a bad back too. And you know, at first I would say, oh, it helps my back. You know what I mean? Like, and that's cool for a little bit. But then like I went from just hitting his bowl every now and then to like, I got my own sack now,
Yeah.
you know? And then that just kind of was the thing. And then I moved to Austin. I left and I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this no more with you. And I ran into an old buddy of mine who was like the plug, you know what I mean? And he put me on, and I was hustling. Turns out I'm the worst fucking drug dealer ever. Like, I like to say that I was doing big things, but like, really, I spent all my money on the boosters.
Yeah.
And like, and that's how Tamara, you know, we got real bad for a while, you know. She stayed in that bathroom, hot rail queen, that one was. It was crazy though, but I never looked like fucked up. I stayed fresh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was just never home, you know? And man, I caught like fucking 18 felonies or something like that in less than a year and a half.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. And it was crazy. You can Google it. It was in Port A. It was, and it said the biggest drug bust in Port Aransas history. I know that sounds like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But like, if it would have happened in Austin, it wouldn't even have been
it wouldn't
shit.
have been on
You
the
know what I
radar.
mean? It's
Yeah.
like, you're talking about a little fucking island, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and I don't even remember how much dope it was, but I had some meth and some coke and some heroin, and I went down there to kick it for a little bit, and I was in a stolo. I remember at one point, Tamara was like, no more stolos at the house, you know? And like, so we'd like park them down the street.
Yeah.
And then she was like, my brother who just got married, she was like, no more smoking dope in the house. And so he started shooting dope in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Wasn't smoking it.
yeah, you know, it is like,
I'm following the rules.
yeah, for sure. And it was crazy. It's been so fucking crazy, bro. Like, I look at it now and I'm like, what the fuck? But then I was doing good with the heroin hustle, you know what I mean? And I went back to re-up, and he was like, I ain't got no work right now, but I got this. And I was like, what the fuck is that? He's like, that's heroin. I was like, I don't know anybody that does heroin. Like, and I hated motherfuckers that did heroin because I grew up around it, you know?
Yeah.
I grew up in that trap house on Springdale. I was raised by fucking prostitutes and fucking bikers, you know? And so I took it, and, you know, heroin's different, you know, like meth and weed and everything is 28 grams for an ounce.
Yeah.
Meth is 25. So he gave me like all these ounces, and I sold them for 28 grams. Like, hey man, you kind of shorted me. Like, you only gave
I
me
mean heroin.
Yeah. I was like, you only gave me like
Yeah.
you shorted me like a quarter or a half. And he's like, bro, tell me you didn't sell those ounces at 28 grams. I was like, yeah, you idiot. I was like, well, fuck, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I had made money. I saw what the difference was in money. So like,
Well, you probably wasn't using the heroin either, were you?
not yet.
Yeah.
But then I started to, you know,
Yeah.
I started just smoking it. And I can't even remember that. It's been a minute since I've done heroin. Like,
Yeah.
Solstice saved me on that one, man. Ryan English and all the guys, like,
Ryan was a guy I worked with when I was over there.
love that dude. Shout out to Ryan English, man. That dude's a fucking
I'll text him
MVP
today
right
and see
there.
what's up. Loves Blue October.
Fucking A right, he does. And such a sweet man that one is.
It's a weird favorite band, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a weird
Bro,
favorite band.
my
to
first
have.
day in Solstice, they were like, hey, when you get around him, you got to tell him like Blue October sucks ass.
Yeah.
So he was playing. I was like, this fucking band sucks.
Yeah.
I said, who the fuck? Yeah, I knew who they were. He's like,
Or
who the
talk
fuck
about
are
the
they?
fucking Chargers.
Bro,
Yeah.
you would have thought that fucking someone fucking just stabbed his mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he was fucking so pissed.
Violated.
Yeah, was it the Charger or the Rams? It was the Rams.
The Rams, you're
Like
right.
the
It is
fucking
the
Rams.
Rams.
Same team.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter. They're both from the same place.
Then I caught a dope case here in Austin too. Or it was like I had an unauthorized use, and I had like a bag. It was like cut for the dark, but it was Fetty in there. Anyways, I had never been dope sick, like ever, because I always had it. You know what I mean? And I fucking cold turkeyed in the county. You know, it was fucking horrible, bro.
What do they do when you go to jail and you're fucking going through withdrawals in there? Do they just fucking...
If it's alcohol,
Yeah,
they bless your game. Like, you know what I mean?
they help you out.
But if you're not on a methadone program or a Suboxone program, I don't know. It's been a minute since I've been in jail.
Yeah.
But you know they got fucking tablets now.
Yeah.
That's fucked,
we
dude.
we
Like,
put money on Destiny's Brother's tablet all the time.
crazy,
Yeah.
bro.
So he can buy movies in his little cellies, all watch
Crazy.
movies together.
Crazy, like fucking daycare in there.
Yeah.
you know?
So I
Like,
told him I'm going to claim your asses on taxes when I finally pay
no
the
shit.
motherfuckers.
So I kicked cold turkey in the county. I mean, like, fuck, dude. It was the worst 12, 13 days of my life.
Yeah.
At first, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Then I'm like, oh, I'm not going to die. Please let me die. Yeah. Like, just take me out now. And of course, like, poor Tamara, like, I'm calling her, like, all day, every day. Like, it was wild. And I'm like, man, get me out of here, man. You know? And they're like, no one would give me a bond. She wrote a letter to the judge and was like, if I do a door-to-door transfer on him and I get him into rehab, will you let him bond out? She's like, yeah. And I had already been in Nova, you know what I mean? And I made it like 2 weeks and I left.
Yeah.
That's my MO. Like I think I've only ever stayed, and I always leave a day early anyways. Like even when I did do almost a full stint at Heartwood, I left the day before so I could do Thanksgiving or something like that. Same thing at Solstice.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, the judge okays it. They let me out. Tamara picks me up there, and she got me into this place. It was called like Liberty Lodge out in Alice, Texas, and this was not a rehab, bro. This was like a halfway house for people that just got out of prison. Like we're using 5-gallon buckets to flush the toilets. You know what I'm saying? Like not nice. It was like horrible, bro. But you're not supposed. They didn't let you have cigarettes in there, but there was cigarettes in there. Like it was like it was a vibe. You know what I mean? But the place got shut down. Like the power just goes off one day. And I was there voluntarily. So like we're outside and they're like, oh, so-and-so, you go to this van. So-and-so, you go to this van. And I'm like, what about me? You know, and they're like, are you a volunteer here? I was like, yeah. And they're like, you're on your own. Like this place got shut down.
Oh, man.
The funds have ran dry. And I had to call the one person I didn't want to call, my ex. You know, I'm like, hey, will you come get me? Because Tamara was like, it would have been like, I don't remember where she was. It was going to take her all like hours and hours to get there. And I was like, fuck it, I'll go see the kids, you know. And then I was there for like a day, and she called me. She's like, you're going to be a worse boy. Like, she saw Presley and the guys at Westlake and just was crying like, dude, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. And like,
What year was this? When was that?
22.
22. Ah. So you went right after I did then.
Yeah. And Presley at the end of the meeting, he's like, call your boy, tell him, pack his shit, bring him out to Solstice.
So were you one of the last ones in Solstice?
Not quite the last group, but I was one
Pretty
of the
close.
last, you know, like I was there with, there was a couple guys that ain't even, there's hardly many of us left, you know?
Yeah. Because I left in February 2022.
I left in November 22. 21.
Okay, so you left right before I got there.
Yeah.
I got you.
But I loved Solstice, man.
I do too.
Like fucking Cole, dude. Love that dude. He caught us all laying down with the blinds shut one day, watching TV, and he got pissed. And he took, you know, we had those wooden shutters. He not no more. He took all of them off. And then, funny story about that place. I kept telling him like, bro, get the propane tank filled up. We got this hot tub out here. We're trying to, you know, it was kind of cool, you know.
Yeah.
So he finally filled it up, and like, we had some cigars. We were gonna fucking do the stogies with the homies in the hot tub, you know. And that it had like a controller box. It looked like a fucking old Atari Jaguar controller.
It was a crazy. The box never fucking worked.
So it took me a minute, but we finally figured it out. I got the waterfall coming out of the hot tub into the pool. Got the lights on. We got that bitch up to like 105.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Had our cigars, had a good time. Go to bed. Wake up the next morning. I would make coffee, take a piss off the back porch, light up a cigarette, and the whole fucking hot tub in the pool is just steaming. I had turned the whole fucking pool into a hot tub and burned through the whole fucking tank of propane.
They went through 3 things. He still bitched about that in January
Cole
and February.
was pissed.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I hope y'all had a good time.
It spent
Yeah.
like $3,000 on a night.
And you were like, we did? We did. We had
Yeah.
a good time, man.
You know, and we had a hot pool for like a couple days, 3 or 4 days, you know. But fuck yeah, man. R.I.P. Solstice, man. That place was fire, dude.
I think he's gonna open another place up eventually.
I sure hope so, man.
When he came on, that you could tell like
yeah.
he was he missed it.
Well, we were bringing up, like, I don't know that we've ever had a guest where, you know, he was in the spot that you're sitting in, and, you know, Mike was just bringing up names, and he would just start to fucking, like, you could just see his soul light up through his smile, dude.
Yeah.
It was coming from within, right? Like, you could just tell that he would just look back on that and be like, man.
Man, I'm terrible with names.
I fucking
He remembered first.
He
last,
remembers
and fucking-
everybody,
he
dude.
Remembered
he
everybody.
remembered everyone, and anytime you were struggling with a name,
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh yeah, it's that
Yeah.
guy," and he would just sit back and be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like almost like looking in the distance, like remembering, right? Like it was that dude was something else. Like you could tell that place. I mean, I know it meant something to you. I could clearly tell it meant
I
something
love
to
that
you.
place. I call that place my Hogwarts, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. And like Tamara used to, we used to always go to Westlake on Mondays because the honeys are there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
of
All the
course.
boys want to go there.
yeah,
Yep.
But that's baby's home group. So like,
yeah.
my bitch ass had like a jewelry box, a fucking beat pill, a fucking. I had stolen fucking thumbtacks from the bulletin board at Westlake so I can hang up all my hats and shit. He was like, "Were you moving in or what?" You know, Ryan would come up there like, "What the hell's going on up here?" And I was like, "Shit, I don't even know, man."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. They even took us to. I told Ryan one time. I said, "Hey, man, it's my son's birthday in Port A. You know, I'd really like to go see him." Because I don't know. Let me see what I can do. Like, let me talk to Cole. And so he comes back later that day. He's like, "All right, man, me and you are gonna go." I said, "Nah, I can't do that." I was like, "If the homies can't go, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna. That's not cool." So fucking Ryan and Johnny drove us all in the fucking Needle Beetle and the fucking
shit.
druggy buggy, and we all went to Port A and fucking. Yeah, my daughter pushed one of the guys in the pool and like smashed him with a cupcake, and
That's awesome.
it was tight.
That's
Yeah.
great, dude.
And
There's
then,
not any other place that would do that.
no,
There ain't no fucking
fuck
way.
no,
Even if they were in Austin, they're not going to say, okay.
never ever.
Not going to fucking happen.
No. You know, the only thing that has come close to any kind of solstice vibe was Heartwood Recovery, man.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Heartwood, dude. Those guys are on top of their fucking game, man. Nick Borges is an amazing dude. He saved me from going to jail. I got jammed up down in Live Oak County, George West. Where everything goes to die, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
nothing there. I had 2 unauthorized uses there, and he sent me down there one day with just a RA, just a tech. But like this dude was like, you know, all he did was play games and work at the treatment center. You know what I mean? And he tried, bless his heart, like he tried to like speak on my behalf, and I was like, look, I told the lawyer, I was like, man, if my therapist and the COO of Heartwood would like come and speak on my behalf, can we get this thing reset before, you know, this lady, because she was handing out like 18-year sentences, like it wasn't shit, and not even blinking. And so we went back. You know, he took the day off for me, and we drove down there, me, him, and Tamara. Never have I ever seen a DA or, you know, there's always somebody there to represent the probation, just be so salty. And I tried not to make any facial expressions at all. I just stood there with my hands and looked at the ground. And Nick smooth talking ass, he's like, you know, he didn't skip a beat. And so they gave me probation. I'm on probation in Austin, Corpus, and in George West.
You're a busy guy.
Yeah. And I should be in prison, man. Like, I should be in prison.
Well, maybe that's the other reason it's changed. This time's different because you might not have another time.
And I've said that, you know, I was like, I'm sure that I could relapse again and without dying, but I don't think I'd ever make it back to the rooms or get sober again, you know, and that really scares me, you know.
Yeah.
This last time I asked Tamara, I was like, how long have I been on this run? And she's like, since November.
Yeah.
You know, my sober date is 3/5/25.
All right.
And she's like, you've slept next to me like 4 times since November. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
It seemed like a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just makes me sick to my stomach now, but like, you know, we ain't gotta live like that no more, you know what I mean? So
what do you think is different this time around? I know you said you kind of went to your knees
Yeah,
But like I want to kind of talk about that a little bit more
for
because
sure.
it does sound different, you know, but I just want to,
It feels different.
yeah.
You know,
Are you doing more step work? Are
yeah, I'm
you,
working. I got a new sponsor. Shout out to Blind Dave. He's a real one. Love that dude. Amazing. Which was also ironic that I went back to Nova to do my first H&I with Blind Dave. Because the first time I ever met or heard of Blind Dave, he was doing an H&I via Zoom because it was still like, you know, scary times after
Yeah.
COVID, and they weren't letting people come onto the campus. And here's this, the guys are like, hey, you're going to like this old blind biker dude. He's going to do the H&I tonight. He's cool. First thing he says coming out like, sorry y'all had to pay $38,000 for that damn book. I'd have gave you one for free, and I can teach you a hell of a lot more than they can. And I was just like, dude, that dude's fucking awesome, you know? Yeah. And he's a very spiritual man, that man is. And he's really helping me a lot, you know? I just did finish my 4th step. I'm going to do 5, 6, and 7 on Wednesday. And like, I'm fucking ready, you know? I've never been more excited to do the work. I usually drag my feet to the point where I don't even make it to the 4th. But this higher power thing, and, you know, like I said, I'm not really quite sure what it is, but that's cool. Because whatever it is, it's helping me grow, not just like in recovery, but like as a
Human.
dad, as a human, you know what I mean? Just like as a good fucking person. My feelings are coming back.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's scary though too.
Yeah.
It
is scary.
That's scary shit when you start feeling things again.
But at this point, you know, out of all the relapses, Dave said something the other day. He's like, you know, a lot of people look down on people who relapse all the time, but really, like, you've learned a lot through all your relapses. You've been to all these treatment centers, and like, I didn't realize how much knowledge I had about the program.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Tamara was saying the other day, she's like, you probably know more about the program than I do. You know, because I can, like, when they start talking about stuff, I know where it's at. You know what they're talking about, you know?
Yeah.
But the application of it was always just
Yeah, you know, I got like a black belt in relapse, you know,
Right.
but I also got a degree in recovery.
Right.
You know what I mean? You sit through enough fucking classes and it's just like muscle memory.
right.
I'm looking forward to working and helping people out, you know. I am.
Have you ever got through the steps where you sponsored people?
I've never sponsored people. I've only attempted to make that one amends.
I think that would be a big deal for you because I've been to rooms before I ever met you.
Yeah.
And like Alicia, that's my dog.
Love her.
Love Alicia. One of
Yeah.
my favorite people in the world. And Alicia used to speak so highly about you before I met you.
Really?
Yeah. And when we had Tamara on, she was like, man, she said, I love Tamara. You know, she loves both of y'all. But she used to talk so much about you. And then I met you, and I realized it wasn't just Alicia that loved you. A lot of people in the rooms love you, especially
Yeah.
at 101. And I know that would be a big deal for you. That's definitely one of those goals that if I were you, I would put in front of you.
Yeah.
Because you could do a lot of good helping people, and it would help you stay sober too. Like passing that gift on,
Yeah.
being able to answer people's calls. There's not anybody, someone's going to call you and say, hey, guess what I just did? It's not like it's going to
It's not going to surprise me at
not going to
all.
blow your mind.
Yeah.
You're not going to drop the phone,
For sure.
you know?
And I've heard that a lot through my journey through treatment centers. Like, they would tell me, like, if you could just get this right, man, like, you could help a lot of people that other people can't just because you can relate. You know, because of everything that I've endured, you know, prison, my childhood, just running the streets, not really having someone to tell me to come home. I can almost acclimate to any situation pretty quickly. And that's like a character defect that served me, right? But like now I think I'll be able to use it for good, for a good purpose. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to being able to raise my hand. Like, anybody willing to sponsor? Like, you know, I'm ready. Like, I'm just I got to get through a few more steps and make some amends, and it's on, man.
Yeah.
What do you feel like you're so fresh in these steps right now?
Yeah,
So, and you're actually working them.
for sure.
And it's something that I want to do too.
Yeah,
Like I don't have an addiction that I know of. I guess I'd have to find one.
yeah,
And I'm sure I can. I have baseball cards.
Baseball cards.
Yeah. So, but I read them in the rooms, right? Like when I first started going, I was going more for like PR. Like when we started doing this thing, it was like, oh, I'm going to get mixed up. They're going to see the moron.
yeah,
And then it was like, okay, now I really enjoyed that. Like I took something from it. But every time I'm like sitting there looking at that wall and I'm reading it, right? And I'm like, first, it happens to me every time. I read through it real quick and I'm like, oh, that seems like it's pretty easy. And then I listen to somebody's story or something and I go back to it. I'm like, that looks pretty fucking hard. Like when you look at it again.
Yeah.
So the question for you would be, what step do you feel like is the hardest one to get through?
You know, I used to say the fourth, but that's bullshit. You know, the fourth step is not a hard step, really. It's just where you get to see how you're showing up. And, you know, I remember the first time I did one, I was like, oh, I'm the fucking asshole. It's not everybody's fault, because you play that victim game, especially in addiction, and it just shows you how your part is in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the hardest step, and it's even more obvious to me as I'm thinking right now, is you know, the higher power. You know what I'm saying? I've always struggled. Like, I'm a master manipulator, right? So like unfortunately, I've even manipulated myself to think that I didn't need the higher power. You know, I'll use Tamara as my higher power, or I'll use like, my dad who passed away as my higher power, which,
Right.
you know, that's cool. And maybe that could work, but like, I still never surrendered to either one of those things. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Drugs were my higher power for the longest time.
yeah, just definitely the higher power part of it all.
I agree with that. Like,
100%.
Like reading it, it was like, man,
Yeah.
that one's tough for me. I'm like, I've got a whole set of issues with religion, just generally, like
Absolutely.
all of them. And doesn't mean that I'm not a man of faith or spirituality or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Right. But having to identify that for me, that does struggle with these, would be very difficult. Like, I relate to you a lot in that, and
Yeah.
how it seems to me though that that's like the key in everybody's story, because you have figured it out, don't know what to call it, just know it's there,
Yeah.
and you're
It's a
embracing
vibe, man.
it, and it's coming to you, and it's like it makes me envious of you.
It's like a weight's been lifted off my shoulder, man. Like I said, even when I was sober, like, I always wanted to get high, but I was like, you know, sitting there like going through a meeting, like, damn, it sure would be nice to.
Yeah.
And I also struggled.
Sitting in a meeting, I wonder who has some shit in here.
You know, and it was always too, like, when I first going through treatment, I'll be like, okay, I'm a heroin addict. I'm not a meth addict. I can smoke
Yeah.
meth.
Yeah.
Or like, now I'm a heroin and meth addict, but I'm not an alcoholic.
Yeah.
I'll still drink like a gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you drink so much and it's like, fuck yeah, let's go get some dope, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a common tale.
Yeah.
And
you know
like
what I
on
mean?
that seed, it's like, well, alcohol wasn't my deal, it was meth.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm
for
coming out,
sure.
I'm gonna just still knock them back. And
But now it's just like, I really look forward to going to my meetings. I really enjoy like the fellowship. Like, I did not want to leave Zilker Park today, man. Like, it was such a vibe down there. But my son, he's going to prom tonight.
Yeah.
So we were going to go take pictures with him. I'm going to link up with him a little bit, I'm sure. Me and baby are going to prom tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's tight. I feel like the prom king kind of.
Yeah, there you go.
What I mean?
Yeah, bro.
I got a killer outfit out in the car I'm going to put on. Yeah, I'm going to crush on him.
Yeah.
There's still some ego I'm dealing with.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
hey, we all do, brother. We all do.
But yeah, man, the higher power it's the only thing that makes sense, man. And I'm not religious. I don't even know if I'm spiritual. But I know that obviously I can't do it
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I've been trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even with Tamara, like holding my hand through it all. And this last time she didn't. That was a different thing too this time. She was like, why aren't you ever home? I'm like, because you won't let me get high at the house, you know? Like, she's like, okay, well, you can. Well, that backfired.
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for, you know what I mean? Because, like, it escalated so quickly. and I freaked myself out, you know, which it wasn't never really something I dealt with. And I think I hung around, like, drug people because they would never challenge me to, like, you know, ask me questions about my past or make me look at things that I'm falling short in. And, you know what I mean? So that was just what I knew, you know? But now it's like, most of my friends are in recovery now. Like, I don't really hang out with anybody anymore. And you know, I don't need to get high no more to have fun.
Yeah. That's one thing I changed for sure. Is when I was at Solstice, there's a dude in there. His name's Mickey Fallon. You know Mickey O'Fallon?
Man, that name sounds
Super good
familiar.
dude. Even though I let him borrow my car and he wrecked it and then left it there after he relapsed. But I was telling him in there, I was like, you know, the hardest part for me when I get out is I'm a very loyal person. Yeah. And like I'm with you until the wheels fall off, right?
For sure.
And I said I've got to let people know that I can't be around them anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about that. And he said, you don't owe them fucking anything. You don't owe them an explanation. You're changing your life and you're getting sober. That's all they need to know. And if they really care for you, they're gonna be fine with that anyways. They're gonna miss you. But the ones that fucking get all offended by that, you didn't need them in your life anyways. And there's still 3 dudes that I still keep in contact with that I used to get high with, but I never go visit them, never anything like that. If they ever want to get sober, I'll be happy to help them.
Yeah.
But I still text with them, and they'll text me and say, hey, man, I miss you. For my birthday, it's normally those 3 are the first people that text me.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, man, I miss you, love you, still doing what I was doing. So I understand that you can't be around me, but just know happy birthday and I miss you.
That's tight.
And it's like, I don't, and when you separate yourself from the people that, I used to get high with people that didn't work. Like none of them ever had jobs or anything. So I always thought I was doing so much better because I have a steady job. I see my daughter. I still pay child support. Like I'm doing great compared to who I'm around, right?
Yeah.
And whenever I got sober and I started getting around people in recovery, then those were people that were going after the same goals that I was, trying to stay sober, trying to get their life back together. And then you just keep going from there, and then you just find new people, and that's how I feel like that's one way that I've been able to stay sober is just keep surrounding yourself around good people.
Yeah.
And that fellowship to me is so fucking important.
It's fire, dude.
It's so important.
Like being like the outsider to all of this, you know, and I don't really feel like I'm an outsider anymore. Kind of used to
For sure.
And the
new kid on the block.
Yeah, like, oh, and you're not even one of us, right?
Yeah.
But they quickly learn there ain't shit you're gonna say to me that's gonna offend me or that's gonna make me judge you. Right. Like I'm the last fucking person that's gonna do that. So, but to your point of like having fun, sober,
Yeah.
like some of the best, dude, we just did a pickleball tournament. We were just out there.
I missed that one.
And bro, that was a fucking blast.
I'm telling you.
Like, it was just nobody in there.
And you remember it all?
Yeah, nobody's doing a lick of anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is fucking great. This is like the funnest shit ever.
Shout out Alicia. That was
Alicia
great.
put that on and brought us into it. And
She did the Not a Glumlot thing today, too. It was fire.
She's doing such a good job.
Cigar rolling, Hannah. They had the guy that makes the cartoon drawings of you.
oh yeah,
Fucking magician blew my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, chick on the stilts out there, the
Yeah.
fucking axe throwing. I was like, well, let's go, bro.
yeah.
Yeah. They needed Alicia in that program.
Yeah.
She's dude, we won our first pickleball match. Me and Destiny. Destiny was on the team with me.
Yeah.
We won our first one, and then we played the people that won it all, and we got fucking destroyed.
They kicked y'all's ass.
Bro, it was terrible. It was so bad that before we lost, Destiny was like, "Hey, on this last point, just grab your fucking paddle. We're leaving." Like we got to the car.
She's so competitive,
She was
dude.
crying when we got to the
Really?
car. She was like, "They kept picking on me because you're not." And I had to tell her, "Look, I'm faster, quicker, stronger. You're not going to hit the ball my side most of the time." They're gonna go at you most of the time. That's what I'm gonna do. If I play a guy girl,
sure.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
going at the
finding the
girl
weak
every
link,
fucking
man.
time.
We're-
Unfortunately, the guy girl that we played against were fucking both phenomenal.
She's cold,
So,
too.
yeah, I was rocking balls at her, and she's
Yeah.
like, boop, right back at me. I'm like, this motherfucker here.
So
Yeah.
I
But yeah.
found out from that lady that she was a collegiate fucking hockey player. Like, she played like college hockey.
The plot
And she
thickens.
was just fucking like, I mean,
Bro,
bro, she was moving around like fucking Serena Williams on
were
the pickleball
fucking
court,
amazing.
dude. And I was like, dude, these people are going to win it all.
Yeah, we found out the next day they won it all. So that softened the blow a little bit. I got to tell Destiny, hey, that team we lost against, they beat everybody. Even the guys that were both two guys on the team.
Yeah.
They beat everybody, and she's like, "Well, that makes me feel a little bit better." But she was crying when we left. She's like, "They're fucking picking on me. I need to lose weight so I can get quicker." I'm like,
Oh,
"Fucking
poor
Jesus
baby."
Christ, bro!" It was a whole therapy session on the way home.
There was one thing I used to always say. I thought about this earlier, and I was going to say it. That I usually say in treatment, and I'll be like, "Can y'all imagine if we all had our drugs of choice right now?" Because I remember the first time I had fun at treatment. The guys took us down to Barton Springs when we was at Solstice, and it was like the first time I had ever had fun sober.
Yeah,
I remember it like it was
bullshit.
yesterday. You
Yeah.
know, we were on the rope swings,
Yeah.
and it was just a good fucking time. It was a fucking good vibe, and every time I have fun when I go to treatment for the first time, I usually say, "I'm like, can y'all imagine if we all had our substance of choice? Like, the alcoholics would be over there fighting.
Yeah.
The fucking heroin addicts would be over here knotted out in the
Sleeping.
corner.
I'd be in the bathroom beating off.
Yeah, the meth heads would be like taking shit apart and jerking off. And
For
you know,
sure.
like none of us would be smiling. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, and like, I don't remember when drugs stopped being fun, because at one point they were fun. Like, hey, we're going camping this weekend. I got to go get some party supplies.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I got
Looking
the
forward to it
goodies,
all
you know
week.
what I mean?
Yep.
Like, but now it was just like,
Yeah.
it's not fun.
There's a rapper. His name's Doobie. He's
Doobie?
he's out of Michigan.
Okay.
I think he's out of Michigan. He has a song. It's what am I gonna do when the drugs don't work? And for such a long time, drugs worked for me, right? And they were my solution. They were my answer to everything.
For sure.
Right? And there was a time where they were fun. Like, people ask all the time, "Did you ever have fun?" Fuck yeah. I'll tell everybody, I love meth. That's the reason I can't do it. I enjoy it, right? And I have ADHD, so it actually calms me down.
Me too.
Where I'm not all fucking sputtered out.
Yeah.
But he when I started thinking about getting sober, I was listening to that song one day, and it's what am I supposed to do when the drugs don't work? And that was such a scary spot for me because they weren't working anymore. At that time, I was just doing them just to do them, right?
Yeah.
And then the whole fentanyl shit started coming in. Now I'm scared
Yeah.
because
As you should
I
be.
just wanted to get high. I didn't want to die.
Yeah.
All right. And I started thinking, like, if something did happen to me, like my daughter was 6 at the time, right? That means I'll never see all the second grade, third grade, fourth grade. Never going to see all those. Someone else is going to walk her down the aisle. I'm not. Someone else is going to raise her. Quinceañera, I won't be there, right? So these are all things that I started like, that's where I started really saying, okay, now I need to get sober, but then I didn't know how, right? Because for 10 years, drugs was just what I did. Like it just became second nature. And once I got to that point to where it wasn't fun anymore, it wasn't working anymore, now I'm scared that I'm going to die. Well, now how do I get sober? That was the biggest question for me. And thank God I went to the place where I went. Yeah. I mean, I think if I would have went anywhere else besides Solstice, if I would have went to a co-ed rehab, there's no fucking way. I'd have been in there like, I'm going to save every bitch in here.
So recovery goes to die.
Block the bitch part out. Yeah. I'm going to save every female in here. Yeah. I'm going to take care of all of y'all.
Yeah, but I think like witnessing you two now, just sitting in here with you for a little bit and knowing you, I mean, you're my brother, but
I love you.
I love you too, brother. So I think that watching the people who are around you and how much they love you guys, even when you're in the addiction, right? Like that speaks volumes about you guys as people. And I can only imagine that adds a lot of pressure too. I don't know, maybe I'm misspeaking here, but
for sure.
When you have a girl who is in the program and sober and you slip up and you're like, fuck, dude, like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's not like you're going to hide it from her.
You're not.
Yeah. That's funny because I think I can.
Yeah.
And she'll give me outs, you know, she'll be like, are you high? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
How dare you ask me that? Yeah. I was like, I would tell you. And she'd be like, you know, I won't get mad. And I'm like,
trick question.
And
Heard
then,
this
like,
one before.
And then like she'll drive off and I'm like, fuck, why did I do that? Like I obviously am fucking scattered all the way the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, I was high. She's like, you're high still? I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. But dude, it's the same. I drink from time to time.
Yeah.
And I'll come home and my girl, she's like, you had a drink, didn't you? And I'm like, no. Yeah. How do you fucking know? Like I had one in my car listening to whatever. I know it's against the law, but
road beer.
Yeah, roadie.
Remember the shower beers?
Shower beers, dude.
Yeah,
shower beers are the best.
hard.
Yeah. They're so cool.
Yeah. Those were the good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's back when it was still fun though. You know what I mean? Like,
let me ask you this. When you do relapse, this is what I've always appreciated about people that relapse and then they come back into the room and they're honest about it.
Yeah.
To me, that's got to be so fucking hard because I know myself. I heard of this guy in a room say one time, the thing that scares me the most is relapsing. And I never understood that when he said it because I'm like, it's just a relapse. Like, fucking come back tomorrow. But then as I got further in the program, I realized, oh, he meant that he's not coming back in a minute. Because I'm not coming back in the room tomorrow and saying, I got to start over or I got to get a 24-hour chip. Like, I'm going to have so much. And I know that people don't fucking care, right?
Yeah.
But I think that they care so much that I'm like, I would never want to have to go back in there and fucking say, 3 years down the drain, I'm starting over, right? Even though people are going to still welcome you. Like, you know how the rooms are. It's not like anybody gives a fuck. They're like, hey, great for coming back.
Yeah. That's your shit, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like
it's a me thing.
With me, like, not the first year of us doing this, I was invited to sober events all the time. And, like, where's the moron? And I always felt like an imposter.
Yeah.
I didn't want people thinking that I'm, like, got this weird addict fetish or you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to infringe myself upon you guys who have this thing and me coming into it, right? But that's my shit. Like that's a me problem because I know that those places are the most welcoming places on the planet.
For sure.
And
you've had to deal with this motherfucker, so like
oh yeah.
That's Al-Anon right there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's where you need to be going, bro. Like, you got some healing to do.
Yeah. I caught him at the tail end of his, you know, like, and he hadn't quite like reached the point with me where he was hitting me up for stuff or so we always there was still a boundary there at the end of loved him and he was my dog. I just knew that I couldn't be involved in him like the way I am now with him. Right. Like, I just knew that.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is that hard for you when you go back to the rooms and you start over?
It was when I first got into 101 and I started going to DAA, like, and, you know, people started telling me how proud they were and shit. Like, or like when I first got into the haha group, the first couple times I relapsed, it was kind of like come back in with my tail tucked.
Yeah.
And I think that's my ego.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said earlier, like when I was at Heartwood, like my boy Nick really tried to fucking shatter that shit. Like I wasn't allowed to take my Sachis to treatment. I had to take like 2 hats or 1, 2 pairs of shoes. Because the first time I went, I had like 8 hats, like
Bro.
my piece and chain, like motherfucking like a couple pairs of Yeezys, some Jordans, some fucking Air Max, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro? Like you here just like throwing a fucking runway show? Like no, no, not happening."
Yeah.
You know,
They had to cut me off at Solstice too. Ryan did.
yeah.
Hey, bro, you got what was the girl that worked there? What was her name?
Oh, you talking about Charlie Moffat's wife?
Yes,
What was her name?
Kylie.
She was like the house mom.
She was cool as fuck.
Love her.
And he had to come and grab me and he says, "Hey, bro, let me talk to you real quick." It's like, "What's up?" He said, "You've had Kylie order something off of Amazon 4 days in a row."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, but I got money on my books." He said, "I don't give a fuck."
Yeah.
He said, "You're not entitled here. You don't have shit. You came here with what you have.
Yeah.
And anything else that you need ordered, not gonna fucking happen."
I know it.
It's like, all right, cool. And that from that day forward, I couldn't order shit no more. I was like, well, why do I have money then?
I mean, I was there when, like, you know, Zach Cox?
Yeah.
So I was there with him. He was my roommate. And, you know, he had cases of fucking, that's when, like, the Bang energy drinks were going hard. Remember those?
I'm on those
The
once a
swirly
day.
pop ones?
No, I'm
Fucking go hard.
Peach mango, bro.
Yeah,
Peach
man.
mango,
And
Every
Tamara
day.
would send, like, cases.
Yeah.
And first thing in the morning, we're shotgun and fucking Bang. You know what I mean? Like, we're just switching it up, you know? It was horrible.
Dude, that's
It
gross.
was a horrible good time. You know what I mean?
I kind of want to do that now.
Yeah, we should do that. I'm all about. I still shotgun a fucking Red Bull every now and then,
Just
for the fuck of it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know.
Do you pop it in the middle and then pop it at the top and go?
I hit it at the bottom, put my thumb, and then
I got you.
you know.
All right. Dude, that has got to be a wild, insane hit to the dome of caffeine.
I mean, bro, I used to shoot meth. That's not
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Like, this is my ignorant dumbass. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
It's
that's the
definitely-
wildest shit I've ever heard. Meanwhile, these guys are fucking
Yeah.
smoking meth and shit. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Sticking our meth in our booty hole.
Doesn't like good booty bump.
yeah.
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 Fucking man, I was gonna say something. I forgot what the fuck I was gonna say.
We do it all the time, bro.
I know.
It's,
Brain fart.
yeah. I mean, we did say booty bump.
Yeah.
Like, did that have anything to do with it?
I don't think that was
Okay, good. All right. Shotgunning Red Bull,
No.
smoking meth. I'm just running back through the thing that we were.
No.
It will come to him. It will come to him. So this time around, how is it? How's your relationship with the girls?
I'm a lot more patient,
Yeah.
you know.
Dude, sometimes you have to take a second. I've got to take a second sometimes with my daughter and say, "Hey, I'm going to the room for 5 minutes. You need
Yeah.
you need to just give me a minute." Because there's a few times where I still lose my shit and I feel fucking terrible.
Of course.
Because like growing up, that's something that my mom did. Was she was always, I mean, she was a single mom, 4 kids.
Yeah.
She fucking yelled a lot, right? And that was something I used to always say when I have a kid, I'm never going to yell at her because it would no. And I love my mom to death, but that's just something I wanted to change. And there's some times where I yell at her, and I'm like, fuck, like I feel terrible. And I have to apologize and tell her like, hey, I need to do better. I'm sorry. Like, dude, we were on the way here today, and she didn't want to get out of the car at Rudy's to get some drinks. And I'm like, Caitlin, get out of the car. And she was, God. And I was like, bro, I'm about to take your phone away.
Bro,
right?
I totally feel you on that
She's
shit.
like, she does the God, and she goes, Jesus. And I'm like, bro, I'm about to take your phone away.
Yeah.
So she's walking, and I'm turning around looking at her, just mean dogging her.
Yeah.
And she's mean mugging me too. And
right back.
We have the same mean mug.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at her, and I'm like, bro, I can't even be mad at you because you have the same mad face
She
that I
mean
have.
mugged me when she found out I didn't bring the kid. She's like, was like, my
Bro,
bad.
we cleaned the shit out of that room for the kids to come over. Y'all didn't bring them. I knew whenever y'all said they wasn't here, I was like, fuck, she can be mad at me.
And then-
she sends me a text message saying, don't come to my room for 30 minutes.
So, you know, like with Echo, she's just like Tamara, just a little sweet, emotional little butterfly, you know?
Yeah.
Then you got Justine, who's just like thug boss. You know what I mean? Like if I get too hard on Echo, she cries. If I even buck up a little bit, Justine, she's bucking back, and I'm like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
What do I do?
You know,
What do I do?
And poor Tamara, she'll just cry. I'm like, what are you crying? She's like, just let me cry. I'm like, okay, baby, come here. You know. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say.
There we go.
Yeah, let's go.
It came back.
All right, let's do
The
it.
fucking brain cells are getting back. We're getting
I
there.
remember when you said, like, when you quit, like, you wrote a letter to Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need
So-
to read that on here.
So this last time, fucking crazy, bro. Before I went to the Arbor this time, Tamara, I told Tamara, I was like, baby, I need help. She's like, okay. And she got me into Origins down in South Padre, which I wish I wouldn't have left. That place was fire,
Yeah,
bro. We'd
dude.
go on beach walks
Yeah.
and shit.
I was
Like,
about to say,
it was,
like-
the food was amazing.
It was a rehab at South Padre?
Yes, dude. Like,
Sounds like I want a vacation
literally,
there.
if you go outside, you could hear the waves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We go on night walks on the beach. Like, who fucking AMAs from there? And I don't even remember why. Yeah, I wanted to get high.
Yeah.
But so, but
Because I got high.
before we went to Houston and we stayed in fucking Sugarland. Yeah, we stayed in Sugarland, bro, and like I took my bong with me, you know, and like I took a big old bag of dope, and like literally I had to go to this detox, and I'm sitting there, and you know, she's like, "All right, babe, you know, you gotta go," and I was like, "Take me back to Austin, I'll drive myself," and she's like, "No," I'm like, you know, and so I'm sitting there and I'm smoking this last bowl, and I'm like, I still got a bag of dope, you know, and I'm just like, I just start out of the blue. I just start talking to this dope bag. I'm like, Crystal, I love you, girl, but like, bitch, you ain't no good for me. You know what I mean? Like, you bringing me down, huh? Like, I can't fuck with you no more. And like, you gonna have to find someone else to torture because I can't do it no more. Like, you're bringing me down, girl,
Bro.
And like, I shattered my fucking bong and I poured the dope out, and like I was gonna like try to keep some, you know.
Yeah.
And she's like, pour it all out. I'm like, whatever. Now take me to jail, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but that's what I was remembering earlier.
Dude,
I
I
was
need to
like,
read my letter on here one day because
Tamara was crying as I'm like saying this. Like, it was like a good like 5 minute, not 5 minutes, but a couple minutes.
You
write it
witnessed
down.
this. You were
Write
just
it
right
down.
there and like,
Yeah,
bro. Because mine, I know in mine, it's like I pass you around to all my friends and they all hit it, and then I'm fucking still like, come back, baby.
Yeah, it was deep, bro. Like, it was some real heartfelt.
all
like,
my friends
off
are
the
smashing
top,
and fucking
from the soul shit.
railing you down.
he
and
read
I'm
this
like,
to me. Like, he was like, dude, you gotta. He read it to me.
Oh, you
And he
got
was,
it still?
Oh, dude,
I have it. I need to read it on here.
and it was
I
just
have it
like,
somewhere.
dope.
dude, I
I'll send it
so
to you if
want
I
him
find
to
it.
read it with like that Forrest Gump music playing over the top of
Yeah.
it. You know, like just, dude, he's like, dear Crystal, Like I was like, bro, this is kind of like in some ways a little romantic.
It's sexual, bro.
Mine's like,
Intimate as fuck.
dear
You know what I
Crystal,
mean?
you dirty little whore.
I know she's a whore, Jerry, but I love her. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like fucking. Oh,
Yeah,
God damn.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna read it out on this.
You've been saying that for a year,
I know, I
dude.
need
You
to
just
read
need to
it.
put it there and
Just leave it.
and fucking
Yeah.
let's
Just read
go.
Yeah, dude, I really put a lot into that. Evan was the one that had me do it. Evan was like, "You should write a breakup letter to Crystal."
Really?
I was like, "Cool." So I wrote this, and I put a lot of thought into
It
it.
is like pages.
Yeah, it was like 5 pages.
It's a long fucking.
It's a
thing,
long
dude.
one.
That's a long-term relationship.
I didn't want to let her go yet, so I just kept going. Yeah, bro.
Like I noticed that like early on in the fucking thing, it was like, but you keep coming back.
Yeah.
And I do love you. And then
Yeah.
and then it got like more distant.
Yeah.
It's almost like you could see the arc of it.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay.
It's hard, dude. Like, I think 2% of meth users recover.
I even told her in the letter, like, I know that what you're saying. He's going to come back. Not this time, bitch.
Yeah.
I came back every single time before, and I'm not coming back. Like, it was deep. It was a deep ass
Yeah.
letter. I've never wrote breakup letters that were that good.
I literally thought of you before I started saying that shit in that car that day. I was like, and it was weird because it came out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I just started saying, and then I could hear her over there like,
Fucking laughing.
no, she was crying.
Oh, she was crying?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, Destiny filmed me one time in the bed talking about this. I just made up a story, right? I didn't know she was filming me. And I was laying in bed and I was talking about spotting this dude that had one leg that I used to smoke crack with. I've only ever smoked crack one time. I just made the whole story up.
Yeah.
But I was just going on and rambling. And she's filming me. And she put it on Facebook. And I turn over and look and I realized she's filming. I just fucking started laughing. But I can pop some crazy shit off.
Same.
And like I can put stories together to where you'll think, damn, he really knew somebody like that. I didn't know anybody like that.
Yeah.
But that letter was like the most intense letter I've ever wrote in my life. But I think it's Evan told me to do it. And I was like, cool, I'll do that. I think it's a good tool for anybody to use because crystal meth for so long just had me wrapped. I mean, it had my whole life.
Oh, the nuts,
It
man.
had me the whole way. I've never been in a relationship that had me wrapped like that. And it was like, it was definitely a good tool for me to write her this letter and say, look, this is it. We're done. Like,
Yeah.
and I went back and read that letter many times, especially in my first 6 months, like because I talk about all the things that you caused in my life, right? And really, I caused it, but like you were no good for me ever.
She didn't help.
right? She didn't
Yeah.
help, right?
Yeah.
And I went back and read that letter a lot of times early in sobriety, and just to remind myself, like, man, because you know when you get sober for a minute, you forget how bad it was. At least I did. I forget. Like, I'll remember some good times from it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, there's been thoughts where maybe I'm far enough now where I can go back and have those good times. But I know it shuts off quick because I'm like, there ain't no fucking way I can just go back and have one good day. Right?
And I also, my relapses, the over and over again, is because I would always forget about that first step experience, man. And this last one, like, I don't think I'll ever forget it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and this was the first time I ever did the footwork myself to get me into treatment. And I know I AMA'd anyways, but like, it's because I was ready to get to work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think if someone leaves early, that's not always a bad, terrible thing.
Yeah.
If you, depending on, like, I left a day early. Right? I
Yeah.
know some people leave a week early or whatever, but I was ready. I was kind of like you. I was ready to see my daughter, right? And I was ready to get my life going where I wanted it, right? I've been sitting here for a month, and I've already know all the wrongs that I've done. I know what I've caused and the problems. Now I got to go start fixing them.
I think it's just a matter of, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like a matter of where you're at. I mean, when
Yeah.
you should and shouldn't be leaving yet, right?
For sure.
Like, whether it's a day or a week or whatever.
Yeah.
You fucking
this
know.
last one wasn't like I couldn't have just went to detox and went back home. Like I had to be removed from everybody and everything and completely unplug and just reset. But I've been to so many treatment centers and I've been through so many fucking PHPs, IOPs, and aftercares. There's not much that I can really learn, you know, in treatment, like as far as like cognitive thinking and like relapse prevention and you know the steps.
It's just about you applying it now.
My sponsor is teaching me a whole new thing in it, but it's mostly about like the spirituality and like the higher power of the thing. And like I said, I think that's just what I've always really been lacking was like the surrender and really having to ask every day, like, yo, God, help me to do what you have me, what you would have me do. Like, so I can like learn to like walk in your footsteps and like help another motherfucker suffering, man.
Yeah.
And that's what my prayers were for like the last month until I met Dave. And now he's got me doing like the 3rd step prayer in the morning. And I told him what my prayers look like. Yeah, you can quit that. He's like, do this, you know what I mean? And like, he's such a great guy, dude. Like, you should bring him on here.
Yeah. I've never heard of him. I'll be happy. We'd be happy to.
Come to PPG, man, on Tuesdays. I make the best coffee in the South Side. I'm there at 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
Challenge accepted, bro.
Yeah, it's fire.
When I do our prayers before we eat, my brother, when we went to New Orleans, it was me, Destiny, my brother, and his fiance. And I feel like I do fire prayers, right?
Yeah.
And my brother, after like 30 seconds, he's like, bro, Jesus already fucking left. Like, he's not here no more. Cut the shit off. And I'm like, bro, how are you going to stop my prayer? He's like, bro, he's gone.
Yeah.
This prayer lasted way too long. My food's cold.
Yeah, we're hungry, bro.
We're
fucking
hungry,
hungry,
man.
man.
So, Destiny still gives me shit now. She's like, hey, let's eat. I'm like, damn, dude, I'm just trying to get everything out. So, yeah. But,
Yeah.
But you said Tuesday, right?
Yeah, Tuesday is PPG. It starts at 7:30. And I remember I had never been.
is that the one in the big gym?
It's the one at the church, the 04 church around South Lamar next to Matt's El Rancho. It's the OGs, bro.
Is it a big gym?
It's a church.
Did they pass? I know, but did they pass a mic around?
Yeah.
I've been there. So Solstice brought us there a couple of times.
Yeah. And I went there for the first night with my buddy Nevin. And, you know, we used to get high together. And then we actually were in jail together. He's a good dude, man. He's in Oxford doing his thing. Like, he's a fucking solid ass dude. And we're sitting there and you know, they ask like who's all worked the 12 steps and can help someone else, please stand up. And like the whole fucking thing stands up and we're like, ooh, we're in the big leagues now, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and Dave tells me like, take the cotton out of your ears and put it in your fucking mouth and listen.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a trip. You know, that place it's different than any meeting I've ever been to.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to kind of pick up on it because like I've read the book, you know, but like they break it down
Yeah.
to where you can really understand it.
Well, that's what their Tuesday is, a big breakdown, right?
Yeah, primary purpose group, man. May 20th, we're having our big barbecue. There's gonna be food, snacks. They have childcare. You know, we're gonna take the girls. It's gonna be tight. They told me to invite everybody, so come on out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's different this time, and I'm so excited, dude. Like, I really am. I've never had because normally I'm just like on the edge of my seat, like, fuck, I'm gonna get high, dude. Like, I don't know how much more of this I can take. Like, one thing stresses me out. I'm a runner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
roll.
You upset me or challenge me or put me in a corner, I'm gone. Like, before you turn around, where'd Josh go? Oh, There he goes.
He left to the store 2 weeks ago to get a
Like, you know, and we got that camera at the house, so I would look, make sure nobody's home, and then I'd go home and grab some clothes and get back out. You know what I mean?
No shit.
Yeah. And but like this time, man, it's like I'm just so eager to continue to, like, I'm hungry, bro.
Yeah.
I'm hungry for this shit. And you know, I give it up all to, you know, my HP, baby.
Yeah.
Well, brother, thanks for coming on, man.
Appreciate y'all having me, man.
No, this was long overdue, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I've been excited about having you on for a while, and
Appreciate it.
And Tamara knows this, and now you know it. But the door's always open to you.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate
like,
it, man.
even if you want to sit behind the camera, if you want to sit in front of it,
Yeah.
you just let us know, and we'll have you by anytime. And as far as coming and hanging out with you and Tuesday and the barbecue, May 20th, barbecue, where's it at?
It's at the 04 Church on South Lamar.
Okay.
Yeah. It starts at 6 o'clock. It's going down.
All right. Well, how do people find you?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Like there?
Yeah, no. Like
Social
just
media.
in general.
Oh yeah, I'm on social media. I got the Facebook. I got Instagram. I mean, I fuck with the Snapchat.
What's your name on there?
What?
On any of them?
It's Joseph Herrera on Facebook, and on Snapchat is Goodfella Josh. I don't know what it is on Instagram.
I have to get it.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Something
Figure that out,
crazy, I
man. Tell the
think.
masses.
It is. It's Goodfella Josh too.
Good fella Josh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my password, Goodfellas is my favorite movie of all time. My password for everything for the longest time was "fuck you, pay me."
Yeah.
Business is bad.
Yeah,
Fuck you, pay me. Kid got hit by a bus. Fuck you, pay
Yeah.
me.
Wife just died. Fuck you, pay me.
Yeah, now he's got Polly. He can charge up the place and fucking, you know, that was my shit.
Great fucking movie.
Yeah.
Greatest movie.
So what's Tamara's favorite movie?
Probably The Notebook or something like that. I don't know.
God.
No, hold on.
Look, dude, she's one of ours, so
Yeah.
we got to make sure you're
What
taking
is her
care of her
favorite
too.
movie? Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah. Dirty Dancing,
Dirty
bro.
Dancing.
Yeah.
Wow. So we did this. John Bryant, one of our buddies.
My sponsor.
Yeah, his sponsor. He was on, and I set him up with his girl.
Yeah.
And so she's like a friend of mine too.
Yeah.
So I just, at the end of it, I knew she would be watching. So I was like, what's her favorite movie? What's her favorite food? Like, I just fucking
Yeah.
hitting him with, and he's like, you motherfucker, dude. Like,
Yeah.
So then,
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I just caught what you were saying. Like, throw him under the bus.
Yeah,
What's
dude,
your
oh,
favorite
dude,
color? What's her favorite
What's
color?
her favorite color? Like all that shit.
I think he went 1 for 3.
And then Mike goes, what's Amy's favorite color? I was like, pink. I didn't even know. I was just like being sure in my
He
answer.
hit all 3
Yeah, just like
answers.
like
Bam,
this.
bam,
I was
bam.
like, you're
Yeah.
gonna make me look stupid. He's like, pink, Dirty Dancing, tacos. And I was like,
Goodfellas has always been my favorite movie. Back when I was growing up, though, you know what I'm saying? We had the VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Remember that
Oh,
shit?
yeah.
You know, Pops be like, all right, pause it. All right, rewind
Yeah.
it, get it. All right, it's about to start. Click it. Well, on our VHS tape that we had Goodfellas on, it was like Last of the Mohicans, Goodfellas,
Yeah.
Last Boy Scout.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
could always
yeah.
put like 3 or 4 movies, you know what I'm saying? And like
I forgot
the
they had
Goodfellas
3s.
movie that we had would end like right after the Lustanza heist when Jimmy's whacking everybody
man.
and they find homeboy in the fucking
Yeah.
meat truck
yeah,
and
and
shit.
the freezers.
Fast forward 20-something years, you know, my ex got me a stocking stuffer and it was a DVD of Goodfellas and Casino.
Yeah.
And I'm telling my kids, I'm like, all right, guys.
Yeah.
You know, they're little as
Yeah.
fuck. I'm like, we're going to watch daddy's favorite movie. So I watched the movie and then, like, it keeps going.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And then I find out Henry Hill's a fucking rat.
yeah.
And he fucking flipped on the fucking, you know, pause, you know, and everybody. And I call my dad.
That had to be wild.
I'm like, hey, Dad, what the fuck? He's like, what's the matter, Mijo? I was like, I just watched Goodfellas on a DVD. He said, oh, shit.
yeah, dude. It
I'm
doesn't
like,
end
what
at the
fuck?
Lufthansa
He's like,
heist.
Mijo, you love that movie so much. Like, I didn't know how to. You just loved it. So we just let you think that forever, you know? And I was like, what the fuck, you know?
Dude, you missed so many good. Like your mind had to have been blown.
Dude,
you
it
were
was
like,
fucking blown. I felt just violated, bro. I was like, oh my
Lied,
God.
this movie gets so much better.
Well, there was a lot more to the movie, but like, and in the end, you know, he flipped on everybody, and I was like, dude, he was like my favorite, and I can't stand that motherfucker,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, it has the greatest opening line to any movie ever made.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I always wanted to
It's
be
even
a
before
gangster.
that.
What do you,
That's the second line, but it's when they're in the car. It's in black, and they're in the fucking car with the dude in the back that they stabbed in the bar.
oh, yeah.
And they go, what?
Billy,
Yeah,
Billy Bates.
And there's
or
the
whatever.
dunk. This is the opening line. Dunk. What the fuck is that?
As
Like
far
that's
as
the
I can
opening line
remember.
to the whole movie, and then it cuts to it's what the fuck is that? And then
Yeah.
they go back and they show and
Tommy.
Tommy stabs him, and then
He
ever
borrowed
since I
that
was
knife
young,
from
I
his
wanted
mom.
to be
He's
a
like,
gangster.
I got to cut the hoof. You know, it's a sin. You can't leave it there, you know? Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
great
the
movie.
fucking the VCR tapes. I remember like when we would watch one, we never rewound it.
Yeah, of course not.
So fucking like, and
Lazy.
our rewinder took fucking like, you might as well just sit there for 10 minutes for
For
that.
sure.
So it was always like, fuck, no, the last person didn't rewind it. So we'd have to rewind that bitch all the way back. But I forgot you had 3 movies on some.
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
it.
some you could get 4 on.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy.
Yeah, done enough tape.
And then when we found out that you could record over them by putting the tape over the little square
Yeah,
that they pull
putting that
out.
little part.
Yeah, you got to put tape over it, and then you can record them. My mom lost all of our fucking family videos.
Oh, yeah.
You fucking, oh, look, here's someone's recital, and it's fucking got Lesbian Lovers Part 7 on there.
Yeah, you kids these days will never know the struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
We smoke swag weed with fucking seeds and shit. Like,
Well, and it's like we used to have to travel to get our weed. Like
For
now
sure.
they're like now they go to 7-Eleven to get the shit. They're like,
is that shit legit?
I mean, I don't know.
I
I
ain't
don't do
touching
it.
Yeah,
but,
fuck all that.
But I'm just saying it will be by the time they're
Yeah.
of age.
For sure.
They're gonna be like, why did you drive 2 hours to buy $20 worth of weed? You'd
Like
be
Destiny,
like, because
Destiny's never seen a map. She don't know what a map is, like a road map, like
Yeah.
right. And I was I was explaining to her that we didn't always have GPS, and she's like, so what did y'all do? And I say, well, when we would travel, my sister, she was the oldest.
we got lost.
No, she got her
happened.
ass fucking whipped the whole fucking way.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're trying to find these little roads that you got to
Yeah.
fucking turn on, and they're
Fucking
like
A
so
right, dude.
small. And let Sandy O'Brien, my mom, miss a fucking turn.
Goddamn right.
Whether it's her fault or your fault,
Yeah.
you're getting your ass whipped.
Fucking A right.
My
dude.
sister got her ass whipped the whole way to New York and back.
Someone told me one day, like, ask somebody, act like you're taking a picture and see what they do. If they go like this, they're young as fuck.
Yeah.
If they go like this,
Yeah.
they're one of us. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah, dude, there's all kinds of like my son, he's 16 now, but he was 7 years old or something. And he got into a car that had a window crank. And he was like, what's that? And he was like, holy shit, you used to fucking, this is the funnest thing ever. Like he started playing with it.
Yeah.
He'd never seen a window crank fucking ever.
I learned how to drive on a 3 on the tree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's the funnest shit ever.
Fuck yeah.
Well, hey, dude, we got to get you to prom night.
Yeah, it's prom night, baby.
Yeah, it's prom night. You gotta we gotta
going
get
down.
We gotta get you all dressed up for the ball.
Stay tuned, motherfucker.
That's gonna be awesome. Hey, I'm gonna say I lost one of my friends this week.
yeah,
He's a
dude.
big
Brent-
supporter of the podcast. His name was Joe. His legal name was Johannes McGee, and we lost him. So y'all keep him and his family in your prayers. His mom, dad, his sisters, and his son just turned 16.
Wow.
His son's name's Jaden. So thoughts and prayers. We love you, Joe. I'll be at your funeral tomorrow, and I'm getting to speak at his funeral tomorrow.
Yeah, dude. How you feel about that?
Well, it's crazy because Destiny asked me. She's like, "Are you going to speak at it?" I said, "They haven't asked me to, but I would." And then his sister texted me like 30 seconds later, like, "Hey, Mom wants to know if you'll speak at it." And I was like, "Holy shit!" I started getting all like
Yeah.
scared and stuff. But
Yeah, dude.
that's sometimes how God forces my hand.
Yeah,
I just
man.
said I would do it, and they asked me to, so yeah, I'm going to do it. And I asked her, I said, can I say all of our stories? And she said,
Yeah,
not for mom and dad. She said, you gotta,
yeah, you're gonna have
I
to.
can't say some of the stuff that he did.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so.
Well, sorry about your loss, brother.
Yeah.
Thoughts
Yeah,
and
man,
prayers for sure.
condolences.
And
Fly with the angels, homie.
Yes, sir.
I want you guys know. I do want to bring this up on a lighter note. I've developed a baseball card habit.
Yeah.
Right. Fairly recently, I've given it up a little bit here. Recently,
We finna make you relapse with all the stuff I got.
oh no, it's only a matter of time for real. But I'm on an app called Whatnot, and it's live auctions for baseball cards. Like, dude puts a card, and you get to bid on it with a bunch of other people. They sell other shit, shoes. I see you're a shoe guy.
I fuck with shoes.
You know, dude, they got it for shoes. You fucking Yeezys and
Everybody
shit
gets
like
They
that.
sober
don't
and they
have
want to
for
collect
dope
shoes.
for
They,
the-
it's
y'all
not
that
for
are
dope.
thinking
It's
that
for
there's no
it's
dope
for
on there.
good but for me, it's kind of been evil. But there's a guy whose auctions I was hopping in, and his name is Tappinbird on the website. So I was on the auction, and he plays music while everybody's bidding.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, dude, why do you call yourself a moron? Like, he can speak." So I'm like, it's my podcast. And he's like, "You have a podcast?"
Yeah.
So I start telling him what it's about, and he's like, "Oh shit!" So he cuts the music off and starts playing our podcast in the background and he's like, "Dude, I am in recovery. My girl works in recovery." So there's a San Francisco Giants hat. That's my team.
Yeah.
He just randomly sent this to me as a gift because he's just a cool dude and a supporter of the place. So
Oh, yeah.
I just thought it was pretty awesome that he did that. So I wanted to give him a shout out because he is watching every
He
time.
put a lot of auctions out there.
Oh yeah,
We are looking for a sponsor. Like if, you know,
yeah,
just saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
We're looking for so many sponsors.
Yeah.
Actually, we have another one. I forgot to talk about it today. We'll talk about it on the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Boxers, some undies.
man,
We gonna do a commercial?
I'll put one on. I don't give a shit.
I am pretty loyal to my Duluth underwear, bro.
Are you?
Like, they changed my life in a
fucking
lot of
with
Do they
different
have?
ways.
Do they have the ball
The sacks,
pouch?
bro.
Yes.
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Dude, the sacks have the
bullpen.
ball
Yeah,
pouch.
little fucking.
the
They're just so
bullpen,
expensive,
yeah.
bro. They're fucking
like
expensive as
25 bucks.
fuck.
Those got lost when all my stuff fell out the back of my truck.
Hey, somebody scored big,
Bro,
because
I hope a bum
Some
hit that
homeless
lady,
dude
bro.
wearing them as a hat. As
Bro,
a
I
bonnet.
had some fresh Supreme Nike
Yeah.
shit like Viore, fucking Lulu shoes.
man,
That motherfucker.
well, this underwear company is gonna have to really convince me because my Duluth underwear it's
Gotcha.
important.
You know what's funny is you said when you left, you got an Uber to get to where you got. Mm-hmm. You remember at Solstice, they didn't let you drive there, right? At least when
Yeah.
I was there.
no.
So
no,
if you wanted to leave, they were
you're
like,
in the middle of fucking nowhere,
you're in the
bro.
middle of nowhere. They brought you to HEB,
Yeah.
and you sat there until your ride got there.
Yeah.
So one of the dudes that was leaving, we always know it's a terrible idea. We're like, bro, stop. He's like, no. It was his chick. I'm going home to kill her. All this crazy shit, right? she's not. I'm going home to. I'm gonna kill her. I'm like, bro, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Right. So he's like, it was like 3 a.m, and it's freezing. It's February, and it's raining. And they're like, all right, well, they're not gonna talk you into staying, right? You want to go, they'll go. They brought him to HEB with his little bag of clothes and his guitar, and dropped him off there at 3:30 a.m. And his ride didn't show up till 9. He said. He ended up coming back like 2 days later. He pissed clean, so they let him come back.
Yeah.
And he said he was out there, and people were dropping money on his guitar because they thought he was homeless.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
But, yeah.
beautiful.
Well, let's get you off to the prom. I know I've
Yeah,
said
man.
it before.
Big
bro.
night.
It's a big day. Big
I don't
day.
want to turn into a pumpkin. You know
Nah,
what I'm saying? I got
man.
to-
Hey, let's get you off, Cinderella.
Yeah, and I got my first overnight. So
Hey, let's go.
she's taking me home with her too after prom.
Hey.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Thanks for having me.
thanks for coming
Yes,
on,
sir.
brother.
Thank you for
It's
coming.
always open. We're gonna be seeing you in the future, near
yeah.
future. Let's keep that door open for you. You got to sign the wall. We got to take some pictures,
All right.
and then we'll get you out of here, brother.
Sounds good.
We're out.
Love you, Joe.